Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach and welcome to another player profile, and today we're taking a look at Rory Laird. Now of course in these player profiles we outline the good, the bad, and then of course the verdict. So I guess starting off, what do you need to know? He's priced at $26,800. He's the 33rd most popular player in 20% of sides, 20.3 to be exact. Now these player profiles, I tend to look at the more popular players, working our way from say your 25 to 30 most popular all the way into the most popular with the likes of Dangerfield, Fife and Myers. So Laird I think is quite a good option. Now firstly, why will you pick him? Well, the reasons are pretty clear. He's a rebounding defender, an attacking defender, and has shown that he's quite a consistent scorer with a reasonable ceiling. Now 2015 averaged 93.8, back that up last year averaging 96.8, so he did prove that it was no fluke, that average in the 90s, and he looks like a player to stay. Now he certainly looks like a guy who is the designated ball user out of the back line for the Crows, very good user of it, reads the play so well, chimes in and just has a happy knack of getting on the end of it. Now of course the likes of Smith is also sort of player they like to use out of the back line, but Laird is very good at being that +1 player. He's quite courageous and he just is a very good link-up player out of the back line. By no means does he have a penetrating left foot like Smith, or a right boot I should say, but he just certainly has an ability to link in the chain, get easy possession. Now he did have the 8th most uncontested possession per game last year, but he also had the 2nd most effective possessions per game last year. So he's probably not going to get you plenty on the inside. Tackles a little bit, but he's more your link up through the chain, out of defence, and does that to a T. So I think we get value with him as well this year. Last year, rounds 7 to 10, suffered a bit of a foot injury, I think it was, just a niggling little injury that kept him out for your 2 to 3 weeks and just put a bit of a halt in the middle of the season. So I think to still average 96.8 is really impressive, considering it wasn't an absolutely perfect season as far as getting a free run at it. And he is no stranger to winning big possession counts either. Now, got 20 touches in every game last year and went 25 plus on 13 occasions. And even in a stint from round 16 to 21, had numbers of 35, 36, 36 and 33. So he does get huge numbers, but that doesn't always mean huge 120 plus scores, because he does get a fair bit of uncontested possession. So that's probably the only downfall. But I think what we get with Laird is a really consistent scorer. He's still on the rise as a player, 76 games, pretty young. I think we can bank on him to offer a little bit of value and can certainly push high 90s, maybe even early 100s. So I think he's quite a good option, but as we always do, you got to play the devil's advocate, and I guess why wouldn't you pick him? Now, there's not a stack of reasons, to be honest, because I do feel that Laird is a great option for your back line, but you might just steer clear because of that uncontested possession rate, and he may be easier to shut down. That might be your line of thinking. If he can't win his own ball, then maybe it might be easy to shut Laird down, and he doesn't have a high ceiling, so maybe you think if he just sort of backs off a touch with his possession count or something like that, then maybe his 97 average might turn into just your 91, 92. You might feel that he really needs to be at the top of his game, getting 28 touches a game just to average 98. You might feel that his points per possession, given the way he wins it, isn't exactly what you're looking for. But I think, to be honest, we're probably really scratching around for reasons to not pick him if I want to put up the case against, I suppose. But to be honest, I'm going to skip straight to the verdict because I think it's fairly obvious. It's very clear what I think of Rory Laird. He's locked and loaded in my defence. He was always going to be a guy that I strongly considered, and unless there's any injury leading into the first round, he will certainly be in my side. I think he offers a little bit of value. I think he's a player on the rise, and I just enjoy his consistency, and I enjoy the way that he seems to accumulate possessions at will. Now, he is a very I guess, a happy knack. Some players just have a good way of finding the ball, and he seems like a smart footballer, chimes in for your odd intercept possession, but I just think he's the sort of guy who is your no-fuss footballer. I think there's still a bit of improvement to come in his game, and I feel like I can put him in my back line, which can be a volatile line in times gone by, where we get guys who go big, then go small, and just finding consistency can be difficult in the back line at times. So I feel like Laird, at the very least, can easily give you your 90 points a week, and he will have those games where he racks up the 35 and gets 115, 120. So I'm quite comfortable picking him. Only in 20% of sides, which I was a little surprised about. I thought he might have even been in sort of 1 in 3 sides. But nonetheless, maybe people might be thinking that there's better options out there. But as far as I'm concerned, I think Laird's a very good option. So he'll be in my side. I think he should be in yours. But if he's not, by all means, let me know. And let me know your thoughts on the video, of course. Next up in the player profiles, we'll be looking at a man who finds his way to his 3rd club in his short AFL career, but for the first time he might be extremely relevant in SuperCoach. So I'll be taking a look at him over the next couple of days. Subscribe to my channel as always. We're pushing the 500 mark, which is fantastic. I have been surprised by how well that has been received. Certainly getting a lot of numbers on board. If you're getting into my leagues, hopefully you've found a spot. They fill up very quickly, but Tuesday 10 AM there'll be another one. If you are a new subscriber on board, great to have you. Thanks for subscribing. Like the video, comment me your thoughts on Laird, and I'm always happy to hear some suggestions on player profiles. I may not be able to get round to every one of them. I do currently have a list of 25 that I will do, and I've seen Lockie Neal's been a request by a couple of people, so I might have a look at him. But nonetheless, subscribe to the channel, give me your thoughts, and I'll be back in the next couple of days with another player profile.